Welcome to Earlicon's Spill Prevention, Control, and Countermeasures training module. A facility is required to have an SPCC plan if it meets the two following criteria. It can reasonably be expected to discharge oil to navigable waterways of the United States and adjoining shorelines, and has above ground capacity of 1,320 gallons of oil storage and or 42,000 gallons of underground oil storage capacity. If a facility is required to have a SPCC plan, this plan must address procedures for routine handling of products to prevent discharge of oil, such as preventing overfilling of tanks, maintaining gauges and alarms if necessary, performing regular inspections, ensuring delivery drivers remain with their vehicles while loading and unloading oil. The SPCC plan must also include discharge and drainage control measures to prevent a discharge of oil, such as maintaining secondary containment for oil containers, maintaining tanks and supports to prevent leaks and spills, knowing the system layout, valves, and shutoffs. Our countermeasures in a SPCC plan focus on containing, cleaning up, and mitigation of oil spills. We've done this by planning for possible spill events. We've identified potential spill pathways. We maintain spill kits, and we protect storm drains in the event of a spill. If a facility must have an SPCC plan, they must have a designated person who is accountable for oil spill prevention. We must schedule and conduct spill prevention briefings once a year. We must report any discharge of harmful quantities of the U.S. navigable waters or adjoining shorelines. We must also review our written SPCC plan at least once every 5 years. Earlicon's SPCC plan is detailed in our SOP 99. This SOP can be found in Document Control in SC1 under the SOP tab. SOP 99, our SPCC plan, is maintained on site and is available for review. It is only submitted to the US EPA and Ohio EPA if there is a reportable event that requires its submittal. In our SPCC plan, we address containment and diversionary structures. Our facility serves as the primary means of secondary containment. Drums and totes are also equipped with means of secondary containment in order to contain leaks and drips, and we also provide absorbent materials to clean up any release. In the event of an oil drum spill, oil will be contained by the secondary containment system or with readily available manpower. If a spill occurs during transfer or in a manner that cannot be contained by the secondary containment system, nearby drains must be protected. Inspections are done monthly. They consist of a facility walkthrough to identify damage or leaking containers, any stained or discolored ground surfaces, and to make sure spill kits are accessible and adequately stocked. An ongoing review is done for anything that would indicate an oil leak, and these records are maintained in the HSC office. Emergency contacts are listed on the SH8s, which are posted around the facility. In the event of an oil release, call Jake Tooney or George Zink. Our facility is located where the A is on the map. As you can see, we are right between the Mad River and the Miami River. This makes it important that releases are contained immediately on our site. Since we are so close to the waterways, we have a very little opportunity to prevent a release from entering these waterways. Spill kits are positioned where there is the greatest threat of an oil spill. They are stored in enclosed containers or bins that are accessible to all staff. An inventory is checked regularly during our monthly SPCC inspections. There is a spill kit located outside the shipping dock in the Franklin Iron Garage. This kit can be used if there is a release outside near the shipping docks. Make sure you know the locations of the drains outside. In the event of an oil spill, they'll need to be covered to prevent a release to the stormwater or to the outfall to the river. Booms are located in the spill kits along with absorbent pads and speedy dry. These can be used to create a dam and to prevent oil from entering the drains. An incidental spill is one that is manageable and poses no health and safety danger or harm to the environment. These are usually less than 55 gallons and have not entered a sanitary or storm drain, or have entered the groundwater or surface water, and can be contained or stopped. In the event of an incidental oil spill, eliminate the source of the spill, prevent oil from going into the drains, and clean up the spill using absorbents, and call HSE at 937-520-0415 for assistance. An emergency oil spill is one that has entered a sanitary or storm drain, or has entered surface water, or has left our property. It is a spill that cannot be contained or stopped, and additional spill equipment is not immediately available and might need to be brought in from outside resources. In the event of an emergency oil spill, do everything you can to prevent the spill from continuing to enter sewers and streams. Absorb flowing oil or dike the area with mats, booms, or speedy dry. Contact HSE or use an emergency contact listed on SH8. If the spill cannot be contained, remain in the immediate vicinity until HSE personnel have arrived on site. It is important that we minimize the waste from an oil spill. Oil vacuum pumps are located in both buildings. If the spill can be vacuumed, do so. Potential spill sites where spills could spread should be cleaned of debris to reduce the final amount of waste to be treated. Segregate different types of polluted waste such as liquids, solids, and other debris because how they will be treated will be different. If the release has occurred outside, prevent excessive rainwater from infiltrating the containment site. Clean and reuse recovery equipment rather than discard it, and use reusable PPE and clean it as necessary. Absorbents such as absorbent pads and speedy dry should be used sparingly and effectively to minimize the amount of waste generated. Oil products and oil spill kits are located throughout the facility. Departments such as stamping and TCC use a large amount of oil and are shown on the map with the light blue circles. Spill kits are depicted with purple triangles. Be sure to look where the spill kits are located so you know where to go in case of a release. On the second floor, oil drums are located inside the R&D department as well as in synchronizers. While our SPCC plan is primarily focused on oils, we do have some other materials that are not covered by the plan. We have oils that come in 55-gallon drums. To clean these up, use absorbent pads, booms, or the oil vacuum pump. We have used oil totes that are pumped to a tanker. In the event of a spill, use absorbent pads, booms, or the oil vacuum pump as well. Oily water is pumped to a tanker. Use water absorbent pads or the oil vacuum pump for cleaning these spills. In the event of an ethanol release, which are stored in 5-gallon containers, simply contain the release and allow the ethanol to evaporate. Liquid cycle is a caustic material that comes in 325-gallon totes. In the event of a spill, use water absorbent pads or the oil vacuum pump. Let's look at a few material labels we have around the facility that could be spilled. This one is DESCO RP. If you look at the label, it will have an exclamation point and then has the hazard statement, which is it may cause an allergic skin reaction. Next, we have liquid cycle. Liquid cycle has the corrosive symbol, the danger signal word, and causes severe burns and eye damage. It is critical that you wear the proper PPE while handling liquid cycle, which includes gloves and eye or face protection. Lastly, we have draw saw, which is used in the stamping department. Draw saw has a label similar to other oil labels. Make sure you know what these labels say before cleaning up a release. If you are unsure about the hazards of a material that have been released, review the label on the container or the safety data sheet. Make sure you have the proper PPE while dealing with the spill. So let's finish with the tabletop exercise. It is a clear, sunny day, and a release has occurred in the stamping department by the tool room roll-up door, where a vendor is pumping out a tote of oily water to the tanker and the hose breaks, releasing oily water in the cul-de-sac. What actions should you take. The first action should be taken is the truck driver should immediately turn off power to the pump to prevent any more material being released. Next, grab the spill kit by the roll-up door. Use tools and materials inside the kit to contain the spill, building dikes around the spill using the boom or absorbent pads or speedy dry. The drain located in the parking lot should be blocked with a boom to prevent oily water from entering the storm drain. Once we have contained the release, use the oil vacuum pump to suck up the oil. Mops can also be used to soak up any free liquids. Be sure to dispose of the recovered oily water back into the oily waste container. In summary of the SPCC training, make sure to use proper operating procedures for routine handling of products to prevent discharge of oil. Be familiar with the types of spills that may occur and the appropriate response procedures for each. Make sure spill kits have adequate materials and are stored in strategic points in the facility to ensure immediate access. Notify HSE if there are any new employees that will be handling oil so that they can be trained. Be sure to complete oil spill training annually. Lastly, know who needs to be contacted in case of emergency release occurs. Thank you for completing this portion of the SPCC training. Be sure to complete the associated quiz. A score of 80% or higher must be obtained.